How's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
Doing well.
I gotta get back in the swing of things, man. It's been a minute since I've
I
been
know,
doing
same.
like, oh shit, the holidays are over. It's back to having
I
conversations.
know, you're like, gotta get back to it, but the body doesn't want to.
No, no, it does not. I do a morning show, and man, I'm telling you what, I need naps. Fucking all the
That's where
naps.
I've been at for the New Year's. Like, either sleeping a lot longer at night or taking naps.
Yeah,
I'm doing it.
for sure. I think we got New Year's Eve, out till like 2 in the morning and went, I can't do this. What the hell?
Yeah.
Let's talk oxymorons, man.
Yeah, dude.
Jafe joining us from the band Oxymorrons. Here's the thing: at the end of 2023, you guys were out on the road, and I kept seeing on my social media feed Oxymorrons. Oh my God, Oxymorrons! Oxymorrons just blew me away. You have to see Oxymorrons, and I'm looking at this, and I try to pay a little attention, and I'm like Oxymorons. I mean, I know they have the song with with Fever. I didn't
Yeah.
really know much else about Oxymorons. So Look Alive's the new single, and that's starting to chart. I'm like, yeah, I need to get these guys on. So here we
Yeah.
are. Um, eh, Tell me about this band. I mean, tell me about what you guys are because you're a hip hop, punk, metal, genre mashing band that seems to be winning fans' hearts every stage you hit.
Yeah, well, we're all native New Yorkers, born and bred here. Our two of our lead vocalists, D and Ki, are brothers, same mom, same dad. Um, and the our drummer Maddie has known them for over a decade. I've been in the band over five years, I believe. Um, so we're all very a close, tight knit group. Even from our tour manager to our merch person, they're people from the neighborhood they grew up in. Longtime
Nice.
friends. And kind of just the goal of this band in terms of what we represent, what we want to sound like. In I guess in its simplest form is to represent the place we're from, which is New York City. And in that, it is just a melting pot of language, food, culture. Queens is one of the most globally populated places in the entire world in terms of its representation in square footage. So we kind of, and that makes up a lot of who we are as people and as individuals. The things we believe in, the way we speak, the way we dress, our interests, things of that nature. The city has really shaped and molded us, and we feel like it's a big part of what makes us unique individuals. When we come together, especially. So we always wanted the band and this sound to represent the ever-changing landscape of New York City, physically and I think culturally. And then we just all four of us grew up, influenced by lots of different types of music. KIND a lot more, like uh, pop, rock, and hip hop. Maddie was a little more on like the jazz and classic side. I was raised on a lot of like Caribbean music, and like Afro Caribbean and diasporic music. Uh,
Sure.
so we always like our writing process is a lot of fun because we all just sort of step on each other's toes, so to speak. Like just because one dude's a vocalist doesn't mean he has to write all the lyrics. Just because I do guitar and bass doesn't mean the other guys can't like mouth some guitar parts and come up with cool shit themselves. Um, but yeah, no, this band is what I like about it is, as you said, a lot of people have been like, you got to see the show, and with bands, obviously you write good songs that resonate with people. You put on a really good live show.
Mhm.
Ours is very energetic. We we come out at like 100 miles an hour, and then we put our foot on the gas after that, as we always say. Um, and then you kind of hope that that is what moves you forward and propels you as a band. Those are like sort of the two main things that every band needs to have. What I'm starting to find is the things that we represent and stand up for, such as inclusion and just an overall mix up of the industry and the space that we're in. A lot of people are starting to resonate with that, and our goal is to sort of liberate um, the space, it's especially the rock and metal space itself, from its assumptions of what bands should look, sound like, and just embrace that it is an ever evolving and changing thing. Um, so if you meet something new with resistance, it probably means that you're part of the older generation now, and the kids are on to something else. And there's something beautiful in, I think, teaching, the generations to come the traditions of the culture that got us here, but also, letting them take the wheel and seeing where they go with it. We hope this band just becomes a blueprint of what future bands come to look and sound like, and
Hey,
think.
sometimes us old guys like the new stuff too.
Hey, I'm one of them now. We're all one of them. There are new
Yeah,
kids doing shit where I'm like, I don't know about this one, but
it
all right, okay.
same, same. But, if you can feel it, if it hits something, that's the beauty of music, right? I mean, we talk about this so often on this show and just in general conversations with friends. If it hits you here, doesn't really matter where it came from or what the style is or any of that stuff. You know, uh, when I was growing up, it's I'm not surprised to learn that you guys are from Queens because I always remember, bands like Biohazard or Anthrax, listening to heavy metal music or punk rock or whatever it was. When a band was from a borough of New York City, Queens specifically for a lot of it, um, there was always seemed to be a little bit more of something else in there, whether it was a hip hop beat and a metal song, whether it was a reggae tone and a punk rock song, whatever it may be. It was always like, oh, well, they're from the melting pot of the United States. No wonder why. But it's cool to see the inclusion. I'm glad that's what you guys are going for because there needs to be more of that. It's weird to think that in 2024 now, that's something we still have to think about.
Yeah. I will say, with with the pros and cons too of like the digital streaming age, and we can obviously talk about the cons for a really long time. Um,
Sure.
but I think one of the most beautiful things to come from it is that I think the average like music consumer,
Hmm.
for lack of a better word, just people that listen to music, are listening to a much more wide range of things. Um,
100%.
there is it is making, even at the cost of the artist's pockets, it is making so much more music accessible to everyone, and therefore the influences and people's taste is evolving and changing. And that's been exciting because we have been doing the genre blending thing for a long time, and a lot of success is opportunity and timing. And it just felt like we were like going against the timing of it for so long, and then over the last couple of years, it just sort of the timing started to align with everything, with all the opportunities we were getting, and it just started to resonate and make sense to a lot of people, and we started feeling less resistance than we're used to. There still is some, of course, there always will be, but
Right.
it's a little bit necessary. It makes it kind of fun.
Absolutely. Well, now,
um,
now here you guys are a few years in, like you said, you've been with the band for 5 years. Is it Melanin? How do you say it? The,
melanin,
the
melanin,
Melanin?
yeah.
Okay. Melanin Punk
Mhm.
is the debut full-length album from
Yeah.
Oxymoron. Just to go back on the digital age stuff, we hear so much about bands wanting to just release singles or maybe 3, 4 songs at a time. You guys did go, I mean, you did that, but obviously, now with the full length, what was the decision to put together that sort of because it is a cohesive mash of music, there's no question. But to go that route instead of just the singles.
Um, I think, well, we made the album, and we kind of, since we signed a mascot, and they're also, just more of like a traditional rock label as well. So
And bluegrass, weirdly enough.
we kind of just went that route where, we built the album. We had the 4 lead up singles with
Hmm.
the leading radio single, and then dropped the album and then tour and support it. We kind of wanted to go that sort of traditional route with our debut, um, and see how it would play in the game right now as is. Um, because yeah, we spent between the EP and the album, I think we only released like one song
Right.
before the album rollout, which was Think Big, and we toured a lot, but we were just writing and sort of prepping for this moment. And it's funny you say that because now we're internally just discussing like So what does album 2 look like and sound like? What we're not going to do is Melanin Punk number 2.
Right.
Um, and I think it was really important for us to create this album and define this sound, and almost lead people on into thinking that's our sound. But Oxymorrons is just like a sort of living organism. The goal was to always continue to evolve and like push the boundaries of the music we like. I think we successfully pushed those boundaries of like rock and metal and its involvement with hip hop. But now there's like even more stuff we want to do, and we want to take it further. And we've always like agreed amongst ourselves that even if we lose some people along the way because of the evolution of the sound, as long as we're consistently, on our standards, pushing the boundaries of what this band should sound like, then we feel like it's going to be successful.
It- this quick observation while listening to Oxymorons music
Yeah.
is in the past when we've seen rap metal groups or rap rock groups come out, it's very traditional in the sense of the rapping is very traditional, but the music is also very traditional. It doesn't go super far one way, you know what I mean? Dave's rapping style is very modern, in a sense of how his voice sounds. Sort of, you can hear that his voice would work with, on modern top 40 radio, so to speak, as far as what hip hop sounds like in 2000 and in the 21st century. But you've still been able to mend then those metal guitars underneath it. It gives it such a fresh take, I
Yeah.
think.
We always found that like new metal was sort of the glass ceiling of rap and rock music and
100%.
culture. Not enough, but let's just say culture being put together, right?
Mhm.
Meaning it's been so binary this whole time, just like 1 + 1 = 2. Here's your metal, here's your rap, put them together, and you have new metal. The problem with new metal is, for to us, in terms of like our mission statement, is that didn't it didn't do a good enough job of ever bringing in the hip hop side of it, and not it's not just the rapping itself, but like the culture, the references, the
Mhm.
cadences, the way it's delivered, as you were just talking about. You
Well, hey,
know,
speak of the devil, Dave is joining us.
oh,
He is connecting as we speak.
Sorry for my tardiness, but I was raging again with Mercedes Benz. They had our Sprinter. It broke down in August on one of their mistakes, and they've had it ever since. And I received a call that they would not be working on our Sprinter until November 10th. And I was like, "Do you realize that's a full year?" And then I
Yeah, that's a
proceeded
lot.
to go. I proceeded to go off, and then realized, "Oh no, I have an interview. Gotta go."
Well, shit,
So,
I hope that works out. A
oh,
year?
it's going. But if we wait until what they're saying November, it will be 14 months that they will have our Sprinter. I literally told them that is not acceptable. You're either giving me another Sprinter or you're erasing the debt that we have, like that we because I've been paying for this. We're paying for this car for 4 months already, and it's been in your shop. I'm also not paying this month. So if the bank calls, I'm gonna tell them, hey, if you want to repossess something, you can go to the dealership. They have the car.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, so my apologies.
No worries.
Late, but there was valid reasons.
I'm never gonna mess with you. Damn.
oh yeah, no,
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
don't
No.
do that.
So yeah, Joff, that's what's been going on. That's what my morning started after, like nice little Muay Thai training.
They're
Good
insane. I don't
good luck,
blame
man. I hope it works out.
Oh, yeah, no, it's our. We call our sprinter Black Ricky because it is a black sprinter. Ricky, I don't know why we chose that name. We just thought it was funny. Um, and I think it's R.I.P. Black Ricky at this point.
Yeah,
Man.
you gotta
Oh,
put them
man.
to rest.
When's the next tour start for Oxymorons?
We can't say yet. We got
Oh,
because
fine.
it hasn't been announced, and I can't
Be that
I
way.
can't give nuggets, no nuggets yet. But it's some cool
All
ones.
right.
It's some cool ones. Well, we will announce soon.
But I love nuggets. Nuggets are my favorite.
Yeah, no, you.
I meant the chicken kind, not the marijuana kind.
I meant both.
Or
Both
both.
illegal,
Yeah.
so both illegal
Not
depending where
here.
you're at. So.
Not where I am.
Oh, true.
Where are you right now? Where are you? Oh yeah, you're in Wisconsin.
I live in Wisconsin. The show airs nationally, but I live in Wisconsin, and we are
Ah.
sandwiched by states where it is legal. So we
Ooh.
have to drive to the border.
Jealous.
Oh my goodness, you guys, you still get the cop drugs like the movies.
Yeah, I
Awesome.
know, dude. I still gotta call the guy. I'm like, hey, meet me in the parking lot of Walmart at 1:30. I got your money.
Oh, I love that. I absolutely love that. That's cool.
So,
It's like,
Dave, before you joined us, we were actually talking about you, kind of, um,
ooh, I
in
hope it
the
was good things.
well, in your style of hip hop. So, I kind of made this observation. I'll reset this up a little bit because Jafe had a great response. But just to reset this up, I made this observation. I was listening to Oxymorrons even earlier today and really listening to it with a fine ear of the style of hip hop that is used within this heavy metal landscape that is Oxymorrons is very modern and very much more into the hip hop realm than maybe rap rock or rap metal or whatever you want to call it has been in the past. And it sort of seems
Mm.
to me that may be helping set you guys apart a little bit. If you want to go, Jafe, like I said, was had a great response to that. But Dave, you want to go on it too? Go for it.
Yeah, it's done with intention. I can lead with that because one of the things that I'm glad you even said that. One of the way we went about it and how the sound sits so authentically in both spaces is the ability to hear a metal song or hear something that's more that you would assume is metal and position a rap verse over it in a very particular way without losing the authenticity that comes from rapping. And it's not the easiest thing in the world to tastefully do. And one of the things in metal music and in the metal space in general, rapping is seen as a lesser skill than singing or screaming and other things. And as a person who can do all three,
Yeah,
because you're
you go,
allowed to
Dave.
talk, who can do all three, it is not easy to rap. It is not you to rap properly, to do it in a highly skilled way. It's not that simple as you think it is. And just because it's no different from like technical metal bands. Those are some of the best musicians in the world. Do not for one simple think that what they're doing they make it look easy. What's being done is not easy. And that's the best way I can explain that. And I'm glad you appreciate it, and I'm glad you took notice of that because that's one of the things that really do separate us. It's not bubblegum flows. We really do like rapping, and we enjoy the art and the skill and the ability of rapping.
Okay, so the difficulty of it. So when you guys sit down and write a song, and we'll talk a little bit about Look Alive in a little bit, as we get set to play it. But when you guys sit down and write a song, then I mean, what are you thinking about? Like, okay, where does it start? Where does it come in? How do you know what kind of riffs you're going to use? What kind of vocal style you're going to use? If you're also rapping, you're also screaming, you're also singing. Because your choruses too are hooky as hell.
Um, Damn, that one is just how we create music is really, really. There's not a pattern. We are we whatever we're feeling in the moments and whatever's happening is legitimately just happening. I think sometimes when we've told these stories of like, oh, we wrote this song in 4 hours, that's not like, oh, to make it sound cool. That's literally what happened. Like Look Alive, Justice. Sometimes we're just in this mode where the songs are just happening. For us, we're not thinking of like, I don't think Jafe ever thinks of like of earlier on before we even begin, what riff am I going to use? It normally starts with something, a sound. It could be a word. It could be literally anything. And it normally starts with like somebody having some ridiculous sound bite on something. And then it gets thrown in the group text. Everybody gets excited, or just two of us, and then it becomes something, and then that one thing turns into a million other things before you guys even hear it.
Makes
And
sense.
that's kind of like our process of like
we
how we
just
go
we
about things.
allow we allow ourselves to just get excited and dive into the potential of ideas to even if we'll try anything out, even if anyone in the group has like reservations about it, it's very much so like, well, until we hear it we won't know if it's actually the best idea of the song or not. So every idea is worth trying, every lane is worth exploring, and we just go down. And sometimes that, like D said, from start to completion of a song happens in 3 to 4 hours because we're just all in sort of that, we've tapped into that same space. it is some, yeah, it is like sort of a higher plane of existence that we treat songwriting and music writing and performing as such,
Hmm.
as just like an honor to be conduits of, we're just grabbing ideas and things from thin air and putting them together and turning them into songs. So I think being conscious of that and then honoring that allows us to just like create from anywhere out of anything. And that is also why there is no like formula to the process. It just
Yeah. It just happens. I try to explain that everyone asks us about our creative process and why we choose to do the things we do. It's because we live our lives outside of the lines, outside of boundaries. And so when we're in the creative process, there's no reason to put boundaries on it. Like Josh said, we literally will try any idea, anything that comes up, because that's how you get new ideas. Something isn't done until it's thought of and then it's done. And we tend to try to think of things that aren't done.
Well, listen, I talk to bands every single week, and I've been doing this for 25 years. I was part of a writing process a few times in my own right, younger as a guitar player and musician. It always seems to fall back on a formula. It really does. And, so I'm glad that you try to explain that, Dave, because it's so easy to go, all right, well, we need a chorus. All right, I need an intro riff. All right, I need an out. And it's got a bass on this, and here are the chords I'm using. All right, go put it together. Here's another song. Let's go on to the next one. The fact that you, like you said, Jafe, on another plane, on a higher plane of going, how do we incorporate all these different things and all these different ideas to make it one? Some of your songs are 2 minutes long, but there's ideas within those that seem like they could be 7 different songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the funny thing is they are. I think one of the only things that I could say that when you just made me think of like something that might be formatic of what we do is we often take the best parts of a song we're creating and create another song out of that best part. And like, for instance, that's where you got Green Vision from. There were 3 different versions of Green Vision.
Yeah.
There was one that moved slower, and then there's a version with reggae in it. And we landed on the version that actually came out. But it all started with that one the chorus. It started, that was a sound bite, and then or something like Moon Chasers. Currently now that a lot of people is really loving, where my mama said no, can't forget the jacket, the world is so cold. That line was part of KI's verse. We heard that and was like, no, that's actually the chorus, and moved it.
Different chords too. It had a whole vibe.
Whole nother vibe. Moon Chasers.
It was literally another song.
It had a drop B breakdown in the middle of it. Like, it was nuts.
Yeah. This like sick metal breakdown. That was kind of like the instrumental hook. It was nuts, but it became another song. It served a purpose. Yeah, we do that a lot. We'll write a full song and be like, okay, this is cool, but these 2 parts are like fire. Take those out, and then let's build more
on the fire.
Yeah.
Okay, even as songwriters, to be conscious enough to do that.
Well, that's the hard part.
It's like, not be so stuck on, no, I wrote this.
Well, that's the thing is as I was saying earlier too, when we write, like, just because I'm the guitarist, just because he's the vocalist, doesn't mean we're only responsible for those parts, which is, we don't make music to serve our egos. We serve the song, as Rick Rubin famously says. What's best for the song, like, and whoever's like that. That's the only thing we are here to serve. Leave that ego and that bullshit at the door. Unless you're gonna bring it into the verse, unless it's part of your delivery and your performance, please bring the ego into the booth all you want. But
randomly enough, that was the second Rick Rubin reference I've had today.
I mean,
oh wow!
Today.
That man is he out here speaking.
Okay, but the other one came from a completely unlikely source. It was the comedian actor David Koechner, who was on my morning show this morning. From The Office.
Everybody's listening to Rick.
He had a Rick Rubin reference. I'm like, okay, this is.
Listen, Rick is great value Jesus right now.
Yeah, it really is. Well, hey, tell me about the song "Look Alive," because our time's going to run out, and I want to make sure we get it in. "Look Alive" is the single. It's rising up the charts. It's doing well. Give me some background on this song.
Damn, Look Alive has so many layers to it. Look
Okay.
Alive, um, that song was awesome. It's one of those songs that came out in 4 hours. It's one of those songs that really just poured out for us. And in itself, it's there's messaging behind it. Sonically, it represents who we are as a band to the max of what we've shown. Let's say that because this new stuff that I'm about to hear, woo, of what we've shown. But and also in reference to the name Look Alive Netic, when you see that name Netic, it speaks to a brother of ours, family, who passed away a year ago, who we would not be a band if Netic, in particular, that's the name you see next to it. We would not be a band if Netic was not a person. We, our concept, who we are. He empowered us in so many ways. We legitimately would never have been here if he didn't. So we pay homage to him. With that, he's also the lead singer to a band called Game Rebellion. If you knew anything about like the Afropunk movement and how rock was back in the early 2000s, Connecticut and those guys really paved the way for a lot of that, especially in New York City. Like they were those dudes. They're actually in the Afropunk documentary themselves. They are the original Afropunk band. They're the ones who set it all off. And so Netic plays a particular role to who we are. So the biggest song we have, it was only right. And that's funny. At the time when we made Look Alive, we knew we made something special. Like, you know, when you just kind of know, we knew people were gonna like this song and it was gonna connect. And so doing that, it was our best way to pay homage to the guy who pretty much has done everything for us.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. I mean, talking to you guys today, I was already intrigued listening to the music, but after meeting you two and having this conversation, I'm even more intrigued. What Oxymorrons is and will continue to be. Millennium Punk, the debut full length album, that's available everywhere now. But you're already working on new music because, of course, you are. Why wouldn't you be?
Yeah, that's what it is, man. Like that, yeah. Oxymorons is just a collective energy. That's what I like to call it because we represent, and I'm not sure if Jafe said this earlier because I know he always says this. We do represent something that's bigger than us. This sound, what
we
we're
talked a little bit
doing,
about the start.
yeah, what we're doing in music represents something so much larger than us. We're
Love
just a
that.
vessel to it.
I love that. I love the inclusiveness of it. You know, it's the world needs it. There's no question to that. The rebelliousness factor
Yeah.
is awesome. That's what rock and roll is and always has been to me. Again, you know, all those punk rock and hardcore bands and God, from Bad Brains to Rage Against the Machine and everything in between. And you know, Rage is gone now, so why not?
That made me cry. That made me cry. I didn't get to see him live, Joff. You did. I'm so mad. I missed out. I should have went to that.
2 years ago, I did it. I waited my whole life.
I'm so tight. And you said this too. We gotta go see them because you will never know when it's gonna happen. I'm like, nah, they just came back. I'm gonna see them. Nope.
I said it.
Nope. They are not rebooking any of that stuff. You know, and I'm proud of myself because I posted the story on my Facebook page, and you know, of course, there's one comment from somebody who's like, "Well, a fascist band, da 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 da," and I'm like, dude, you don't have no idea what music is and has been in the world of rock, punk, metal, all of it. Like you could say that about, you could pull out pretty much 95% of the bands outside of that period of time in the late 80s, and they're all singing about something like that. Come on.
Come on. Yeah, like literally. I'm like, dude, like really? Like some people, you know, you just gotta laugh. You just gotta look at it. It's the internet.
I didn't respond, and I was proud of myself for that. Nice. I had a moment of clarity.
I am proud of you for not responding. You did not fall for the trap. Good job.
If anybody else wants to go on that post and respond, I'll laugh it. Anyway, you guys, it's an honor to meet you guys, and I'm happy. I can't wait to see you guys in person myself. Dave, you weren't here for this, but I told right at the beginning of this conversation that my whole social media feed, it felt like, well, on your last tour was just people from around the country talking about how you have to see Oxymorrons live. Oh my God, this band's amazing. From friends in Chicago to friends in Baltimore to friends in Dallas. I mean, it didn't matter. It was just everywhere. It felt like, oh, I got to see Oxymorrons, got to see Oxymorrons. So
wow.
Bar set.
Thank you. Thank you. The bar is set, and we will. Listen, that's our space. That is the live space that opened every door. Please come in because the bar is set, and we will raise it. We will raise it for you as you show up.
That's awesome.
When we're in
Oxymorrons.
Wisconsin, hit us up when we're passing through. Definitely.
Anytime, man. Yeah, we'll stop through. You're a homie. Let's get some. If you like coffee, food, whatever, come hang out with us. That's how we are, man. We make friends.
Well, when you guys are on the road next, let's try to make that happen. Whether it's with me, whether it's with our station partners, whoever. I mean, let's do that for sure.
That'd be great.
Absolutely, we will for sure. Thanks for excusing my tardiness. Shout out to Mercedes-Benz. Y'all about to make me a millionaire. Love y'all.
Yeah, sue their asses. Screw it.
Absolutely.
Why not?
They're done. I'm so within my rights that it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Hook.
Good. Get that. Hey, R.I.P. to what'd you call him? Black Ricky?
Black Ricky. Yeah, R.I.P. Black Ricky. We're gonna send you home well, though. We're gonna send you off. We're gonna send you off with chariots and doves.
These thongs just need to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then Black Ricky can be a tour bus, and you don't have to worry about it.
Listen. He's not
Put it in
Black
the
Ricky
universe.
no more.
Manifest it, you guys. Manifest it.
We're reincarnating Black Ricky as a tour bus.
Nah, he's gonna be. His name is gonna be Noir Nasser. Noir Nasser.
Nasser is crazy.
Get out of here. We'll talk again soon, I'm sure.
Nice to meet you,
Have
bro.
a good one. Nice to meet you, bro. Have a great one, guys.
Take care.
Cutter's Rockcast.
Don't forget to tune in.
Exactly.